Curtis, how did you first become not just aware, but first become excited about the role that housing wealth could play in retirement income planning?
I was one of those guys that shunned the conversation. I mean, completely. It wouldn't even open my ears to the conversation as an advisor of reverse mortgages, given the old reputation of things. Mm-hmm. Didn't take very long as you began to disseminate that information to the group that we had there in Chicago that I really didn't know what I didn't know. And so I was shocked that HECM had evolved to what it had become when I wasn't even allowing myself to even know or understand the information. So what I realized when I saw that, the big vector change for me was, oh my goodness, that's a way for me to hedge against housing catapult in terms of market collapse like we had in 2008 again, where I have the ability to preserve housing wealth regardless of the value of my actual value of my home in a way that I have permission to utilize a block of my assets that may be allowing me to use it at a value above what it's worth. And if that's true, would I rather use that, if that's true, and not use the assets that are worth $1 for $1 that are growing? And that was a big change in terms of understanding and the knowledge for me. For those people who had housing wealth but couldn't have or purchase life insurance cash values, or didn't, and now it's too late because they need the cash now, that housing wealth concept would give me the opportunity to be able to have liquidity without tapping my own investable assets and be able to utilize it in the bad years if markets aren't performing well, or when I had a capital call that was temporary, and then I could turn around in the good times and pay it back.
What would you say to advisors who have been reluctant to look at this strategy?
There's a high bar being established for us who put ourselves out as these financial experts, these financial professionals, these financial advisors. And there's going to come a day when we don't have the luxury of deciding what we listen to or what we consider and what we don't consider. And I would say that now the onus is on us to know all the things that we come across that force us to ask the question, is this relevant to what I'm doing, or is there reasons why it's not relevant? And in my case, I was just refusing to listen because of an old bias I had, old belief. And I realize today that I'm going to have to be much more nimble in accepting information and then doing the due diligence on that information to decide where and if it fits and for who. But then once I do, realize that there are a lot of things I don't know, and it's being relied on me as a fiduciary or as the professional I put myself out to be, to say I'm really considering all facets of these tools, HECM being one of them.